Hey everybody, so I'm going to start some winter sowing for this season. It's kind of like the end of February, so I might be a little bit late, and sorry if you can hear my washer going, and don't mind the mess, but if you've never heard of winter sowing, it's basically starting seeds out in winter, and you just use some old jugs that are not transparent, translucent. You can't use opaque jugs, and basically you're just going to cut the jug in half, put some soil in it, poke a whole bunch of holes in the bottom, plant your seeds in it, duct tape the top back on, and then you take the lid off and leave it outside through the winter. And then by spring you'll have nice, hardy, healthy plants that are already acclimated for your temperature outside. It works pretty well. It actually works amazing for a lot of stuff, and then it's less work than starting them indoors. But I like to hedge my bets and kind of try both methods. I'll show you how to do it. First, gotta start by cleaning all these. So these are just vinegar jugs. I'm gonna rinse them all 3 times with hot water, and then poke my holes in the bottom. You want to poke your holes in the bottom before you cut it in half, or else it gets all wiggly. And I would suggest you want to do some holes in the sides or like the rounded edge, because if they're just on the bottom and that's it, you might not actually be draining, which I found the hard way. Alright, let's get to it. Echo, play Spotify.
Okay, here's Spotify.
Did I say don't use transparent ones? Because that's not true. You can use transparent. You don't want to use opaque. Like, this won't work. It's solid, no light goes through, even though it's white. You probably wouldn't want to use bleach either. Okay, next step. Cutting some drainage holes in the bottom. So I'm just using an X-Acto knife. And just cutting some holes. Give it a little twist. I got 3, they're kind of on the side of the edge, not directly on the bottom. Maybe I'll do 1 on the bottom. There we go. And now the fun part. So I'm going to cut it in half, but I'm going to leave this flat side. Okay, so what that does, I probably should cut it up a little higher, but there we go, first one done. So I'll just get through all the rest. My music back on. Echo, play it. Alright, here is the soil I'm going to use, or media. ProMix BX, I don't know, has the mycorrhizae stuff. Last year I used the HP, which is high porosity, so it means it drains really well. This one's BX, because that's all they had. Couldn't find this stuff anywhere. So yeah, we're gonna try this one this year, see how it goes. So, the next step is I'm gonna pre-moisten my soil. I'm gonna add a bunch of water, mix it in. Just so it like clumps, not enough to be dripping. And then I'm gonna fill all the jugs. Boom! Okay, now for the fun part. We're gonna do seeds. So I'm gonna do Hollyhocks. This is Niagara. They're like black hollyhocks, pretty cool. I always have trouble with something attacking my hollyhocks, and they're biennial, so I'm just gonna keep growing them every year. They also reseed, but only if they're like doing good, which mine don't seem to be doing lately. So I'm gonna keep growing them every year. Winter sowing works pretty well for them, but once it's like warm enough out, you want to open the containers so it's not too humid inside there, or move them more into like shade. Then we got Golden Jubilee Agastache. So I did winter sowing with this last year. It worked really well, and I want more. I got Madonna Snowdrop Anemone. I did these last year. They all worked, but I let them dry out and die before I transplanted them out into the landscape. So we'll try again. Blue Cap Sea Holly, didn't know this is kind of a biennial also. These are the ones that are like, it's what is it, Eryngium? So they kind of look like thistle-ish, but the whole plant is like fully blue. It's really neat looking. So for the first season, they all were just kind of like flat little plants. They weren't really doing anything, but super healthy. So I'm gonna do more. Now this one, I'm excited. So I finally figured out kind of a new design for my center garden out front, and I want to do some blue fescue. And I got the idea from Garden Answer with one of those viewer submission videos. Someone in Alberta had blue fescue alternating with, it looked like, what's it called? Some sort of lemon sedum, lemon coral sedum probably. So I kind of want to just do the same thing because it looked really cool having the like blue and then like neon green, which is my favorite color. And just tonight at the grocery store, I found these seeds, which were becoming really hard to find online, and I didn't want to spend like $10 per plant for like 16 plants. So I'm going to try winter sowing and starting seeds indoors for this one. And they're burpy, if you're wondering. I found them at No Frills. And second last one, I'm going to try Foxglove, which I think is biennial. Yeah. So I'll have to remember to do this again next year. And you hear everywhere they're poisonous. Digitalis. So, I don't know. Heads up. And then, the last thing I'm going to do is I have a collection of pine cones again this year, because I did winter sowing last year with pine like seeds I collected from pine cones or conifers, and they worked really well. Here, I'll show you where they're at now. So I brought them in the house for the winter and put them in a south-facing window. I'll show you what they look like now. There we go. Look, they're actually like actively growing during the winter, so that's pretty neat. I'm excited. I got two out of I think 4 that germinated, and then there's also a few dwarf Hinoki cypress, but they're not looking too happy right now. Okay, let's crack on with it. Oh, and I'm gonna do cannabis again, winter sowing. I don't know about everyone else, but I can grow plants like no problem indoors. But for some reason, when it comes to cannabis, it's like they're so finicky. Everything you do, like they're trying to die. So last year I did winter sowing, and the plants were amazing, and I didn't have to do anything with them. That's if I have enough jugs. So I'm also gonna oversow them this year. Last year I didn't. I think I did like 8 or 9 each, but I'm just gonna do extra this year. Did I say holly? It's Hollyhocks. So I'm just really lightly pressing them into the soil. Okay, seeds in there. So this step I did not do last year, and I will never forget it. So I had tons, Okay, first off, I had a drainage problem. They were holding way too much water, and because of that, they all grew a ton of algae or moss or, well, algae in them. So this year I am going to sprinkle some vermiculite on top, which is another trick I learned from Garden Answer. And it helps prevent that. So just a light dusting on top. That's what she said. All right, then I just duct tape, and these can go outside, out in full direct sun. Somewhere they will get a lot of precipitation. And you leave the caps off. Oh shit, and you want to label them somehow too. Okay, and I'm back. Popsicle stick, Sharpie, fine point Sharpie, and the name. Don't ever forget this part, it sucks. So I like to place it so that I can peek inside and know what plant I'm looking at and read it. So I'm just gonna do it over here. And then hopefully I can peek inside. Yeah. Alright. One done. And I forgot yet another step. Water it in. Just want to get a little decent drink of water, not a shit ton. Okay, I am gonna give them a nice good watering, and then I'm gonna duct tape them closed and put them outside on the front lawn. And that's about it.